All right, we are live, and we apologize for the delay, but both of us had some technical difficulties. Nonetheless, we are now here. So
We
we are back.
persevered.
Yes, yes, yes. So we are back with another edition of Hot Cocoa and Candy Canes, which is a show, there we call it that reviews Christmas movies, Black holiday Christmas movies. So I am your host, Shawn Harrison, and my co-host is
Daphne Jones. Hello, people.
hello, hello, hello. And today, you guys know that we are going to be taking a look-see at the BET movie, original movie, the day
BT
before.
Plus.
Oh, I'm so sorry. BET Plus, original movie, the day before Christmas. All right. So, per usual, what is your snack of item of the day, Daphne?
I have not been feeling the best today, so I am without snack for this evening.
I'm mad that you said that so smoothly. Okay. Well, my snack item for today is Trader Joe's. I have my dark chocolate peanut butter cup.
Now who's copying who?
Nah.
Now who's
Nah.
copying who? The
Let's
dark
not do
chocolate
this.
peanut butter cups?
Let's
Okay.
not do this. Let's not
Mhm.
do this. Okay. So let's get this thing going because let me tell you something. The amount of Grinch I have in my heart right now because of
I
you
know.
is
I
very
know.
strong. Very strong.
I
So
know.
you
I
need
know.
to account for yourself. So let's get going. What is how many candy canes are you putting in your cocoa for this foolishness of a movie that you made me sit through? Y'all, this is all on her. All on Daphne.
I did select this movie. I thought it was gonna be cute. It looked really cute. I was excited. I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a cute little love
Ooh, ooh,
story."
ooh.
Keep your Grinchiness to yourself for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I, in my disappointment, guys, I had to give it a 2.5 candy canes in
Mm.
my cocoa.
You notice how her ratings are always in that 2 to 3 range. Like she refuses to really come strong in regards to this. But that's all right. That's what I'm here for. Because as I said,
That's your job to do.
okay, I got a lot of Grinch in my heart today because of
You
this foolishness that you have me watch. So you know what I gave this joint? Can you guess what I gave it?
one.
You're right.
I know if you
I'm
could have
putting one
given
damn
it a
candy cane.
negative,
One damn look. All right. So again, this is the BET original movie, The Day
BT
Before.
Plus.
You know what? Listen, I'm not
It's
going to be
BT
sidetracked.
Plus.
I'm not going to be sidetracked by you. All right, but here we go.
I'm trying to help
So,
you.
on IMDb, this is what it says as an overview for the movie. It says when two single parents accidentally swap phones and their children's backpacks on a hectic Christmas Eve, they find themselves covering for each other in a series of chaotic yet heartwarming events, leading to unexpected romance. All right, that's the overview that we get for this film from IMDb. Okay, per usual, let's jump in here with the 3 things that you like the least. And I don't even know how to talk about this dang movie.
Uh, 3 things that I like the least.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there were more things that I liked least than most for this film.
Oh, you know what? I did a disservice. I did not tell you guys that this film stars Tristan Wiles and Candace Maxwell. Now, let me say that again, this is directed at Daphne. Let me say I'm angry with you because as much as it's on me, this is on you. I thought that we were going to be watching a film with our dude that we like, Thug Yoda. I didn't realize it was this
Ah,
Tristan,
you
not
thought
that
it was him?
Tristan, right? So I was like, yeah. And then when you sent me the text on Saturday, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember seeing the cover for this, but this isn't who I plan to watch. So I started off on a bad note.
So
Okay. So
you
anyway,
you thought it was Thug Yoda. He's
I
not
thought
in
it was
another
Thug. I
Christmas
thought it was
movie.
Thug
Okay.
Yoda. When we talked about it weeks ago, I thought it was Thug Yoda that we were waiting for. Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
gotcha.
Okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so then that's your fault, not mine.
Whatever.
Just saying. Okay.
Yes. Yes. A
Um
one, Clark. I'm giving it a one. Uh-huh. And that was being nice. Mm-hmm. Yes.
okay. So what I liked least.
Yeah. Please hit me with it.
like I said, there's more of those than I had
Daphne,
anticipated.
please go.
So I'm gonna okay. I'm just gonna pick some because I have a list.
All
Okay.
right.
What I liked least, I really didn't like when the mayor's kids were like playing the
The little
dozens.
raggedy kids.
They were like playing the dozens, and I'm
Yeah.
like, they look too little to be playing the dozens like this. I don't like that anyway. It just seems a
Okay.
little. They was too mean. I didn't like that at
Was it
all.
mean or grown? Because I feel it's a thing for me. It's like little kids. There's
Okay,
a thin
maybe
line between
maybe grown.
grown and
Maybe grown is
okay.
what I'm going for,
Okay.
but it felt mean and grown. I didn't
So
like
y'all,
it
so
either way.
we don't have that moment to show you, but basically, if you remember what Della Reese and Red
Uh,
Fox did in
Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights, that's basically what these two kids did for about a minute and a half, and it was too much.
It
All right,
was
go ahead.
way too much and way too long. Okay, so that was one thing.
Okay.
The other thing that I did not like that I found to be annoying, let me see.
If you don't put those
Um
glasses on and stop playing with us today,
Leave me
tell you
alone.
that before we got going. Find them damn glasses and stop playing.
I'm not gonna reach because if I reach for my glasses, I'd be to knocked everything over. Okay. I also did not like the for shut up. You get on my nerves.
Yeah.
The formal luncheon.
Okay.
Um, and I do think you have a clip of that one. These ladies are supposed to be. It's supposed to be formal, hoity-toity.
Right.
And they're not giving that at all. Their mannerisms and attitude is giving it, but it just was not, it did not come together and work
Mhm.
at all. So
Okay.
that was quite annoying to me.
Okay.
Another one I'll save because I'm sure you might mention it in as you go through like what happens within. So I'll save that one. But the last one that I'll say is I wanted to see a bigger payoff of this love story. They let me down. That's the whole reason I was picking this movie. I was like, this is going to be too cute. They've exchanged phones on accident and backpacks, and the day has gone awry. And it was whatever the description was with, on the way to romance or whatever. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be cute.
Do y'all hear this? She bought hook, line, and sinker this foolishness that they were going to find romance because they
I
exchanged phones. But okay,
did.
go ahead.
I did, and I was very much let down for what my expectations were of that storyline. It
Okay.
didn't go the way I wanted it to go, and I did not like that at all. That's my number one thing at the top spot that I didn't like, that I liked least.
Okay.
Was I was expecting to really go on this journey of a love story, and it did not happen.
So let me again start by saying I have a lot of Grinch in my heart today, and it's all because of you. So
Lies,
we're gonna go into this. Did you say lies? No, it's not a lie.
lies.
Okay, not lies. All right. So number three, the thing that I like the least was the ridiculousness of all of this stuff needing to be accomplished by the two of them on Christmas Eve. Nobody sets Christmas Eve to accomplish this number of things. So let me tell you how ridiculous it is. Let me tell you one of the points they had in this, y'all. They had it that the mayor of a city where they live is just taking his Christmas picture on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
Are you serious? This is just really bad writing. They had another one where, what was it? They had a luncheon, a major luncheon on Christmas Eve, as well as both of them had set appointments. She had set an appointment with the bank to find out about a loan, and he had set an appointment up to talk to his ex-wife about custody on Christmas
With
Eve. The
lawyers.
believability of that was absolutely ridiculous. So that's what irritated me the most about that. The second one that I dislike, to be honest with you, we sort of you kind of was mean last week, but this week I'm gonna
Me last week?
a little bit last week because you said something that surprised me, considering that it's you. But I'm gonna come this week. These kids, horrible. She already mentioned the two kids that were mayor kids. Now the two kids that the film stars, they really could only do what was written for them to do, but it was played so, it was so hokey. Oh my gosh. And I just want everything to go well. I was so frustrated with these kids about 5 minutes in that I was
I knew you
ready
would
to
be.
turn it off, but unfortunately, I had to persevere. All right. The number one thing that I dislike about this damn movie, and I'm gonna play the clip for you, all right? Because I'm not even
Oh,
gonna hold
you just gonna play
no,
the
I'm not even
clip?
holding it. This is ridiculous. Okay, we're gonna go all out of order today.
That's fine.
Okay, listen, y'all. These fools fell in love in less than a day. I ain't never in my life, even with all of the stuff that I have seen a film where they have fallen in love in less than a day. Okay, so I want to play this clip for you because I want you to see how they start the day. And when I say a day, I mean literally, y'all, within the day. They start the day a particular way, and then they go to this other thing. All right, let me make sure I got my thing set up properly.
Have a good day.
Oh, we're
This is
keeping
how
it
they start the
formal,
day,
huh?
y'all.
Have a good day is formal.
It is where I'm from.
And what hood is that?
What hood am I from? Like, I'm just some type of hood. Do you even know where I'm from?
You're holding up my time. I don't.
All right, this is how they
Imagine
end the
what
day.
life could be like together.
Better together.
Y'all, this is less than a day. Less than a day. How do they go from I can't stand you, I don't like, oh, by the way, I didn't add this in, okay, because we haven't gone through it. They didn't even know each other until the day before where they had a run-in with each other. Then they start the day at odds and end the day with the perfect magical kiss because they're now in love. What is Daphne? Again, I got so much in my heart because you have me watching this foolishness. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Love is not Clark. Really.
Love is real, Clark. We keep it hope for love alive, even though it wasn't in this movie, though.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at all of this. Okay. So before we move on, let's talk about this movie just a little bit to give you guys a little bit more of an overview. Much like last week, it's going to be challenging because again, I got a lot of Grinch in my heart for this because for me, what this film was, it was a dry ass turkey sandwich with no condiments on this sandwich. Okay, you had some stale ass bread and some dry ass turkey that you trying to chew and swallow. That's what this movie. This was one of the most dullest movies I've ever seen in my lifetime. In my lifetime.
In your lifetime, though?
There was
Your
no
whole
razzle.
lifetime.
In my whole lifetime, there was no razzle, there was no dazzle. There was nothing here.
Your whole lifetime?
In my lifetime. Okay, you know what? Since you don't want me to embellish, you know exactly what I'm trying to say here. Okay, y'all. So here's what happens. Let's give you guys a little bit more of an overview. So the film again is called The Day Before Christmas. It's a BET Plus original movie. By the way, they're 3 movies in, and they're gonna have to step their game up. That's all I'm gonna say. Stuff they commission
right.
is straight up
Listen,
trash.
I'm with you when you're
Garbage.
right, okay?
Garbage. It is straight up garbage. Okay. They just like put anything on that damn streaming network. They'll watch anything. We don't care. That's basically the attitude that people have. All right. So as it said in that overview, that I read from IMDb, it is 2 singles that accidentally swap phones, and they basically have these series of chaotic issues where they have to address each other's things for them, and somehow romance develops from that. So we're introduced to the characters, which we start the movie, we're not even making sense. They pull up to a dwelling, y'all. We think that it's a school. We find out later it's a church, but a school bell goes off. Okay, so the school bell goes off, and then the little girl runs out because she wants to see her mom, and then the little boy runs out and he wants to see his dad. Okay, that's how we get introduced to the characters. And so the woman, she's a woman who over plans for everything, and he is a dude who doesn't plan at all. So they're opposites. This is an opposites attract love story. Okay, just so y'all know, that's the basis for this. All right, so she's pissed, like, you need to get out of my way. He's like, hold on, I just want to pick up my son. So they have this ridiculous argument over nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing other than it was scripted. All right, so then we move on to the next complication. She gets home And when she gets home, she sees a foreclosure notice on her door. And so we set the tone for she needs a Christmas miracle. All right. So we're already going down that path.
That's
We,
the
we
line in
find
every
out
movie.
we find out that she's a baker. Let me start with one of the most other ridiculous moments in this movie. She's a baker, y'all. And they decided in the next series of scenes, because it's like 3 of them, that she's going to have flour just plastered on her freaking face. Let me see if I can pull the picture up for y'all. Let me see if I can pull the picture up for y'all. I'm so irritated.
I knew you was gonna call that out. I knew it.
Let me see
I
if I can
ain't
show y'all
gonna
this.
lie, it was annoying. I said, if
Y'all
they
see
don't
that?
knock
You
it off,
see this? She
you
is a
can't really
baker.
see. Make it make it bigger.
Make it bigger. I don't know how to make it bigger because on my
Make
screen
us smaller and that one bigger. Like
I have no idea how to do it. Oh, okay. Wait. Let me see. I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. But this is what you see. This is what you see in the film. Hopefully
on
you
her
can zoom
cheek
in
and on
just
her
a little.
nose, little on her forehead.
Little on her forehead. It's ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing that I've ever seen. And again, they have her in 3 different scenes. Okay, moving on. All right, so she has this big event. She has 2 different big events that she has to cater for the following day on Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, she has a breakfast and she has a luncheon. All right, we set the stage for that. Next morning, she oversleeps. She is supposed to drop her daughter off at what we find out is church so she can go to, I think it's Santa Land. She gets there a little too late and she discovers Tristan's character, whom she had the run-in with the previous day, and he too has run a little bit late. So what happens after that, the kids can't go on the field trip and they are stuck having to figure out what they're going to do with their kids. But both of them have things that they have to accomplish that day. All right. We then see this thing where her tire ends up being on a flat. And so what happens is he calls a mechanic to come help her out, has to get the car towed. And so he volunteers to take her to her first appointment. So they jump in the car, they're headed to this first appointment. And this is when the setup starts for us. All right. The magical moment for Daphne, that is. And this is when we see that you can see it, okay, because they telegraphed this crap. She picks up the wrong phone and she's like, I don't know why I can't open to my phone, right? And so he's like, that's because you have my phone. She puts her code in. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so then that's when we get into the second discovery that she's all about these damn lists. Okay, she's going to check. First, I've got to do this, then this, then this, then this, then this. All right, perfect. Okay, so. All right. So finally, he gets her to her destination. He drops her ass off. Okay. She walks into the place where she's supposed to do the breakfast. It's only then that she realizes, oh my God, I left the food in my car, and my car is at the mechanics. Oh,
and you have to know the amount of traffic. They said, "Oh, this traffic is ridiculous."
The traffic, which makes sense because it is Christmas Eve, and nobody does the crap that they're doing on Christmas Eve. Okay,
and they're like, "Why is it so much traffic?
So much holiday traffic.
We'll never make it. Oh my God,
we will never make it. We are in a standstill.
Standstill.
Okay, so
I have to agree with you on that. We are in a standstill, and then I'm going to interject in a minute.
Okay,
probably. Go ahead.
So then what happens is, again, the setup of the phones. Guess what she did when she jumped out of the car, y'all? Yes, you guessed it. She grabbed the wrong phone, so she can't even call him to say, "Hey, can you come back?" So she has to try to figure something out. Eventually, they get on the phone with each other and they give each other's passcodes so that they can get into the phones and have access to at least make phone calls. And so then that sets up the next things that we see, which is everything that he has to do for the day, she ends up handling, and everything she has to do for the day, he ends up handling. So the first thing is she has no food, as I stated. So he orders something for her that arrives when she thinks she needs to go out there and basically apologize and try to save face. He has something delivered. And so the women at the breakfast are like, oh my God, this is so perfect. It's some damn donuts, y'all. Donuts.
But there was hot food, I guess, in the containers. But that's where I was going to interject.
Okay, please.
If the traffic was so heavy and at such a standstill and no one can get anywhere in the city, how in the world did that food get there? And she called a man and he talked about,
mind you, this is her movie. So now she wants it to make sense. I'm just letting y'all know how ridiculous this damn movie is.
I'm adding in.
Okay. Let's not get bogged down. Let's move on. Okay. So she handles that for him. His big appointment for the day is he has to go take the picture of a mayor. it's a mayor husband and his 2 kids.
The
So
Christmas card on
so
Christmas
she
Eve.
ends up fielding a phone call and find out he's headed in the wrong direction because where he was scheduled to take the picture, they don't want to take the picture anymore. They want to take the picture at the mayor's house. Well, guess what? It just so happens that she's nearby where the mayor lives. And the other thing that I failed to mention, even though I read it in the write-up, is that the little kids had the same backpack. And so the kids swapped bags when they got out. The daughter grabbed the son's backpack as opposed to hers. And so he doesn't have his camera. She has the camera. So what happens is she then takes an Uber to the mayor's house, and she doesn't know how to use a camera. And so we have this ridiculous, supposed to be funny moment about, hey, do you know how to use a camera? And she's pulling stuff out of the backpack that has nothing to do with photography. Anywho, she ends up having this connection with the mayor's wife because she notices some friction. And so we discover earlier in the movie that she's widowed because she has this moment where she longingly talks to her husband's picture on the refrigerator because it's been a tough year. Right. And so because of that, I guess her heart is so full of love that when she notices the little strained tension between the mayor and his wife, she takes a moment to say something to the mayor's wife, and that suddenly makes the mayor's wife feel better and feel bonded with her. So she ends up taking some terrible pictures, but she connects with them. So she connects with the mayor, and this is a big job for him because he's depending on it for the next year for business. Everything is riding on this particular photo shoot. Okay, so moving forward, the next thing is she has a luncheon that she has to cater to that I mentioned. So he then has to go get the food for her in order to take it to the luncheon. Come to find out, the mechanics at the auto shop have eaten the food that were in her trunk. I've never heard of such a thing of people going in your trunk, seeing food and thinking it's for them.
Thinking it's for them.
Yeah. Okay, so they take the food. So now he has to improvise. He improvises by going to some buffalo wing. Think, what's the place we go to? Wingstop. So he goes to get some wings, some fries, and I want to say one other thing.
Yeah.
From this place. Now she was supposed to be catering short ribs and something else, and it was supposed to be a very upscale luncheon that she was catering.
A formal luncheon.
A formal luncheon. All right. So we then have another ridiculous moment, and I want to play this for you now because they have this woman and they're making it seem like she's like never had a hot wing or she hasn't had one in a long time.
She's never touched one with her fingers because she's too formal.
But here's the thing that cracked me up, Daphne. If you know that, you'll see it in the film. She makes like it's the greatest thing she's ever eaten. But notice that she doesn't actually take a bite. Okay, I want you to notice that she doesn't take a bite. Wait a minute.
Aware of how to eat a chicken wing, young man. It's like heaven on earth.
Wait a minute. I want y'all to see that again. She's doing all that. Didn't take near a bite. Didn't take near a bite of the damn chicken.
How to eat a chicken wing, young man.
Watch this.
It's like heaven on earth.
Wait a minute.
It's like heaven on earth.
Wait a minute. Oh, by the way, we get a cameo or feature of Towanda, Braxton. I don't know if you see her in the background, y'all, in the black.
That was also very annoying and frustrating.
I'm not even going to touch that. It is what it is.
Even though I love Towanda. Hey, Towanda.
Okay, so moving on from there. So he changes their mind by serving to them some food that's, not as, classic as was supposed to be with the luncheon, but just giving them something that's a little, less stuffy. Okay, so that goes over well. So the next thing that needs to be accomplished for him is he needs to get a present for his son. So she takes it upon herself to go buy a present for his son. I'm so sorry. And so she heads to the toy store. However, when she gets there, she's confronted by a hustle man.
Not the hustle man.
Not the hustle man. Not a hustle man that's funny, but she gets accosted by a hustle man. Okay, so she ends up bargaining with this dude, haggling with him. She gets a gift for the son. And so she has this bright idea. Okay, I'm done with everything. I'm going to head back to the mechanic shop because it's on the other side of town. And then he doesn't have to meet me somewhere. So then we have this next moment where the wires are crossed because he decides, well, I'm done early. I'm going to head up north and go get her. So he hops in the car, starts to head north. She
They're
hops
both
in
calling
Uber
each other.
on the phone, and then they find out, oh
Wait.
my gosh, we had the same thought. Isn't that
Oh,
just
wow,
the
you
cutest?
didn't.
It's so cute. Okay, so then she keeps going to the mechanic, and so he ends up arriving later on. Now, throughout this process, she's just supposed to be getting a tire fix, but what we discovered throughout the course of the day is the repairs for her car get worse and worse and worse and worse. And so when she arrives at the shop, she's thinking she might be picking her car up, but the mechanic's like, "Ooh, sorry, not going to be able to pick your car up."
Your car is
So Tristan's character arrives. I think Tristan's character was Rashad. So Rashad arrives, and the son's name is Bryce. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the character's name. So it's Rashad, it's Nia, is the other parent. The young girl is Imani, and the son is Bryce. Those are the character names.
I couldn't
Okay.
remember the little girl's name. I'm glad you said it.
I had to write that crap down. Okay, so Rashad and Bryce arrive in the nick of time. And so now Nia is excited. And so she gives him this hug. And so they have this awkward moment of like, oh my God, what's going on? And the little kids, they're cheesing at each other like, see, I told ya. Okay, so then they have to figure out what they're going to do with the next part of the day. Come to find out, their next appointments are at the same place. Who would have?
Oh my gosh.
Who would have thunk it? So
At the South Towers?
The South Tower. Now, again, this is the last appointment, and he's going to see his ex-wife's lawyer, and she's going to the bank because she needs to try to get a loan for her catering business. All right, so then we have this tender moment, which I'm actually not mad at. While they're waiting in the lobby, they have a conversation, and they're sort of just talking about where they are in life. And so you see a real moment. I thought that it was written well, and I thought it was performed well. So that's like one of the highlights. Stop it. You're showing off, and there's no reason to act up in front of company. But here we are. Okay, so then just before they rush off to their appointments, she comes up. Now, she's the one that's very structured. She comes up with this bright idea. Because things have been going so well all day where I've handled your business and you've handled my business, why don't we do it again? I'll go to your meeting with the lawyer and you go to my meeting with the bank. And so we have them do a swap. And sure enough, what happens? The Christmas magic. He goes in there and he charms the lady for the blown application, and she goes and pours her heart to the ex-wife about how maybe custody isn't, something that you should really be thinking about at this particular time because he's such a good husband and he's such a good dad. And I know what you think of him, but this is what I saw today in him. Okay, you want to jump in? Go ahead.
I just was going to say, share who the loan officer lady was.
Oh, I was. I'm going to get to that. So Sure enough, guess who, as Daphne has stated, was the loan officer lady? It's the one who was taking a bite of the damn buffalo wing, who didn't really take a bite, but it was the greatest thing that she ever had. So then she has a moment in there, right? It's so stupid. She goes, oh my, did you serve me a buffalo wing earlier? I mean, this writing is so damn ridiculous. I'm so bitter about it. Okay. So anywho, I want to show y'all something. It's only going to be funny to me. It might not be funny to y'all, but they set up. Okay. So there was a background performer that had to portray the role of the ex-wife's lawyer. And I think that they did this man dirty because the man didn't know what to do. So he just sat there mute the whole time with his hands clasped, basically. So I did a little something for y'all to see this because it's the most ridiculous thing.
I knew it.
Now, again, I want y'all to pay attention to this. Lawyer, he's a background actor. They decided not to give him any lines. He didn't know what to do. So he just sat there like this, hands clasped, okay? Y'all take note of this. I want y'all to take note of this.
Points.
Nia?
I'm here on behalf of Rashad.
Let's hear her out. Without Rashad, this meeting is moot. You sure you're not a lawyer? I should be less formal about all this and discuss the schedule with my husband. You've given me a lot to think about.
Daphne, why they set that man up like that?
I don't know.
Why they set that man up like that? You don't do that to people.
But wait, the funny thing too, that when she walked in and he was like,
right.
you have to do something. Let's hear her out.
Listen. Everything about this damn movie pissed me off. All right. Okay,
You were entertained though, weren't you?
Nah, I wasn't this entertained. It was only when I went back and I was trying to gather stuff for this that I was like, you know what? This might be it's so bad, it's good, but I don't know. It's only because we're talking about it. Okay. So after that, they then have another stupid moment. This is the dumbest moment. The mechanic has just told them, they just left the mechanic, and the mechanic said, you're not getting your car back today. So when it's time to leave the South Tower, guess where she says she has to go? Back to the mechanic who told her you won't be getting your car today. It made no sense whatsoever. So she heads off to the mechanic, he heads off to wherever, and they both have to go back to the church because there is a Christmas pageant. So just think Christmas play. I don't know why they're calling it a pageant, but they had to do a Christmas play later on, and both of their kids were in it. Okay, so then we see them at the church. What I didn't include in this is that when Nia fills in for Rashad at the meeting with the ex-wife, she believes, because Rashad has just said in their meeting in the lobby that he loves his wife, even though it's an ex-wife, that she's bringing them back together as a couple. So when she sees the wife at the church, because they discover earlier in the movie that they know each other from church, she basically says, I'm so glad, the ex-wife says, I sort of had a second thought about this, a change of heart rather, and everything is going to be good. And so there's a moment where Nia says something like, oh yeah, your marriage is going to be good. And so the ex-wife is like, oh, no, we're good. We just need to be friends. And so that's the indication, like, okay, Nia may have the green light to pursue what it is that she's now feeling for this man who she couldn't stand and didn't know earlier in the day. Okay. Anyhow, so then he had saved a seat for her. So then we get like a little montage of her sitting there, and they're both watching their kids. And the filmmakers decide to give us a feature moment of the two kids singing Jingle Bells. It is the most raggedy Jingle Bells that I think I've ever heard in my life. But of course, for the purposes of movie magic, it had to happen. All right. So the pageant ends. And so now they're sitting there and they're sort of breaking down. They're debriefing over the day, and they're having a moment. And as they're having that moment, something happens where she goes, oh, I have a voicemail. And he says something like, did he say he had a voicemail or an email?
No, his was an actual call. He said he had a call.
Okay,
and
he has a call. She gets a voicemail. So on Christmas Eve, she gets a voicemail from the loan officer saying, you've been approved.
In the evening. And
there's, I'm so sorry to call you this late. Ridiculous. We don't hear what's said to him. Really? This is your reenactment? Okay. We don't hear what's said to him. But then when he tells her, he's like, well, the mayor loved this picture, and so he's hired me for the next year. So their magical moment that they needed has now happened. All right. So you should be getting the feels at this particular moment. Did I get the feels? Hell no, because this is stupid. All right. So now it's time to transition outside of the church, because he has one more surprise, and the son wants to make sure that they get this one more surprise. So the four of them transition to the outside of the church. And when they get outside of the church, he's handled one final thing that was on her to-do list. She did not have a Christmas tree. So when they get outside, she sees this Christmas tree on this car, and she's like, oh my God, the Christmas tree. And then come to find out, because her car was torn up, when they were serving the luncheon, there was a raffle for a new car. And so Bryce, the son, had filled out a whole bunch of cards to enter into the drawing for the car. And guess who won the car? They won the car for Nia. So she has the tree and the car sitting right there for her with a ribbon and a bow on it in the parking lot.
Why is this big red bow on this car?
It's under the Christmas tree, isn't it? That means it's yours.
I couldn't possibly take this.
And then the dog was like, yes, we can. Yes, we can. Okay. So anyway, that then segues to the last moment that I played earlier, where they look lovingly at one another. And he basically proposes, look what we did separately. Imagine what we could do together. Right. And then she agrees. And then she starts this catchphrase that she and her daughter use together.
Better together.
And so then they move
forever through whatever.
They move in for that tender kiss. And after they conclude the kiss, the two kids come run over and give them a hug. And we zoom out. And that is the end of The Day Before Christmas and my patience. So that was the foolishness that Daphne had me watching this last week, which I am not happy about.
You were entertained.
Oh, no, no, no. Okay, so per usual, what were the 3 things that you liked the most about this film, Daphne? Oops.
Oh, 3 things that I liked the most.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful gowns.
If you don't say something for real after you have me sit through that crap, what did you like about this dang movie?
Even though I know you were annoyed by the lead kids, I thought they were cute. So they're cute kids, beautiful gowns.
Okay, cute kids.
I thought that since the movie was done in Atlanta, it's always fun to be able to point back and be like, oh, look at our people. So I thought that it was cute that the mayor's children was Candy from Escape, her son, and the daughter was T.I. and Tiny's daughter.
Nice of you to note that. I didn't know, don't care, and don't ever want to see them again.
That's fine, because these are the 3 things I liked most.
That is true. I stand corrected. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay.
And also, Towanda. Again, the people seeing their people. So when it's done in a place, like, I think that's always a cool thing.
Okay.
And the last thing that I'll say is that I liked what Tristan did, what he could do.
Oh, y'all know that sounded a little bit shady. I don't want to go into that at this particular moment. I'm going to go ahead.
No shade. Go,
considering
Tristan.
It wasn't Thug Yoda.
It was not Thug Yoda, as you thought.
I'm so mad about that. So mad about that. Okay, so the 3 things that I liked. The thing number 3.
Everybody pray.
I liked the most that the movie was short. They did not overstay their welcome. I'll be honest with you. It was like 67 minutes, and that's all that they needed. That's all that needed to be needed for this particular story, just because of how it unfolded. So that's number 3. Number 2, and this is another thing sort of from a filmmaker's perspective, I liked how simple they kept it. They had a limited number of characters. They had a limited number of sets. So I'm pretty sure that this was pretty easy for them to shoot. I just wish that they would have maybe finessed it a little bit more. Like, for instance, the times that they were supposedly in traffic, y'all, I don't think they ever did anything outside of a parking lot. So there were some things that they could have changed in regards to just giving you a better feel for what it would have felt like to be in traffic, that I wish that they would have paid attention to as far as detail goes. And the number 1 reason that I like this film is because it gives me something to fuss at you about, because this was utter trash. And so I'm going to continue to drag you and this film for weeks on end, because we sat and watched this movie. And because, again, I was hoodwinked and bamboozled. I thought that I was watching Thug Yoda. Now, mind you, I like Tristan Wiles. Here's the thing.
I did not hoodwink and bamboozle you. That was your own eyes. Your eyes betrayed you, sir.
No, they didn't betray me, because I said, oh, Thug Yoda. And you were like, yeah.
I no such thing. Tonight is the first time I remember you saying anything about you thinking this was Thug Yoda.
Whatever. Okay, so those are the 3 things that I like the most about this particular film. Yeah.
You gave you something to talk about, didn't it?
It gave me a lot to talk about. I'm trying to think here. Is there anything else on my list? Because I wrote a ton of notes just in case. Also, I did not mention that the guy who played the mechanic, he is from House of Pain, so people may be familiar with him. His name is
another Atlanta familiar face.
His name is Palmer Williams Jr. So if you guys know that name, he is in the film. I don't have a clip or anything to show you guys of what he did. He was fine. And
he did what he does.
Yeah, he did what he does. And I'm trying to think. Oh, so I have a question for you, because this is something that we talked about. One of the things that you like about Christmas is the Christmas magic, the Christmas feel. So your rating for Christmas magic, how much Christmas did this film give you?
It gave me a fair amount of Christmas. It wasn't, completely missing like the other film, besides decoration. So because the whole thing was, it's the day before and we're doing all these Christmas errands and things like that, it was out of 5, I will say, I'll I'll say 3, 2.5, 3 for Christmas looks.
Okay. I thought that it was a little barren, and I think that had to do with the simplicity of what they did. I thought that it
Mhm.
had, some accents here and there, but it didn't give
Yeah.
a lot of Christmas, in my opinion. But of course, I
Yeah.
don't believe that per se from a
Yeah,
film.
and I think that's for what it was, for
Mhm.
what they worked with.
Okay.
I'll give it that, because like you said, it was simple, and
Okay.
I think people don't realize you can do a lot with a little.
I agree.
And that sometimes the more simple, the better.
Okay.
So yeah, for what it was and what they did in its bracket,
Okay.
I'll give it like a 3 for Christmas for what it was and they were able to do. Now on your Grinch scale,
Yes.
1 being the least Grinchy and 5
Mhm.
being the most Grinchy, how many
Yes.
Grinches are you giving it?
I'm
10.
giving it 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving it 4 because honestly, I was so bored. I thought that it was dull. It's like I understood everything that they were doing. I just thought that the way that they accomplished everything from a writer's perspective was just dull and boring. And so I kept waiting for the moment, the spark, whether it was the romance, whether it was the magic of the Christmas, whether it was the kids getting a Christmas wish fulfilled. It was like they had things there, but none of it connected in a way that made you feel like, oh my God, this is so cute. Cute and I like sappy, cute and I like corny, cute and I like Christmassy. It was just there. And I
That's what
hate
I
when
wrote in my
filmmakers just
notes.
that it was just what?
That it wasn't the connections weren't connecting.
Yeah.
It was missing some things, and some of the things in the story just, and like I always say, I'm not the person that everything has to make sense for, but
Right.
some of these things were like really missing a lot where I'm like, now what, how did that happen? Now
I
how did
know
they say that from this? So it just, some of those elements I was just like, ugh.
the question that I have, I wonder if they had come up with the title of this film before they wrote the film, because being so beholden to this, all of this stuff happening on Christmas Eve, I thought did a disservice to what it is. They could have told that same story on the 23rd, the 22nd, the 20th. I didn't get why. So when you said it doesn't have to make sense to you, everything doesn't have to make sense, but doing all of that on Christmas Eve was just so ridiculous from jump
It was
that
ambitious.
I couldn't buy into a lot of the stuff that was happening in the film. But that's neither here nor there. All right. So what I want to also ask you is, we're 4 movies deep. What is your ranking based on the 4 movies that we've watched? Because when I tell you I was so pissed about this, to me, this is the worst of the 4. And I'm surprised considering what I had to say about Meet Me Next Christmas, Style Me for Christmas, and Candy Cane Lane. Like right now, I hate to say it, Meet Me Next Christmas is the best thing that we have watched.
It is. I hate to say it too. I agree.
Meet Me Next Christmas, Candy Cane Lane, then Style Me for Christmas, and then this. You're gonna flop Style Me for Christmas.
Yep.
And this, huh?
Yep. Style Me for Christmas at the bottom of my list.
Look, if any of y'all watch the movies, I'd be curious to know what y'all rankings are of these 4 movies. Because listen, it was a struggle.
Yeah. Of the 4 thus far, it is definitely Meet Me Next Christmas for Christmas. I don't know, but that one with Christina Milian is, of the 4 that we viewed, that's my number 1. And
How was that? Listen, we need y'all to make some recommendations because we're not doing good on our own. We need something next week that might actually be good and entertaining. Because right now, listen, we are struggling.
Well, your BB Winans one came out this weekend, and I just saw that.
Okay, so y'all, that's what it is. Next week, I already said that is on my list. We are watching the BB Winans thing on Lifetime with BB Winans and his niece. That's the film for next week.
I didn't know his niece was in it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Daphne, I'm trying to go over my list quickly here to see if there's anything else that we want to talk about. I feel like we highlighted most of everything. I mean, as a Grinch, I got so much more that I want to say to you. Certain things I can't say on camera, unfortunately.
Please don't do it. Please don't.
That was funny. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I mean, is there anything else that you want to say about the film overall, a performance, or something? Should I play the moment with Hustle Man? Because that's about the only clip that I have.
Go ahead and play that clip. Just go. You already had it prepared. I mean, I don't think it's necessary, but you had it prepared.
Well, listen, if you don't think it's necessary, I'm not going to play it. We're going to end on this note. You know what? I do want to play it. This is why I want to play it, y'all. I want to play it because, again, I know that we write for all types of
Kenneth
audiences,
Patrick
right?
Wheeler says, yes, play it.
I know that we write for all types of audiences, but sometimes the low-hanging fruit we've got to stay away from. I don't want any more EBT jokes to pop up in content that's for Black people. Okay, so I'm gonna play this moment specifically for this, for that, the EBT thing. All right. And I want writers to stop doing this. And I think he's a comedian. I want comedians to stop thinking throwing EBT into something makes it hella funny when it really doesn't.
Holiday special, yeah.
You have a good day, sir.
Hey. Didn't mean to grab the baby. What you trying to spend?
Honestly, it's just not in my price range. Plus, I don't have any cash, so.
Cash? Girl, I take debit, credit, Venmo, Zelle, EBT, cash out. What you need? I'd even take the earrings if you $50.
Oh.
$50.
50.
Why? Daphne, explain it to me.
I don't have it. I can't.
No. This is for
I
you.
don't know.
This is for you. I don't understand.
I'm not the writer nor that comedian. If he's a comedian, I don't know. Nor the director. I don't know what that, because I feel like that was probably him doing a little improv.
Yeah, I would imagine too. Okay, I just want people to stop thinking that makes it funny to mention EBT as an acceptable form of payment because it's Black people. Like, that's low-hanging fruit for comedy. I want people to be a little more clever and witty than that. At least that's what my desire is. So,
do you know the name of the BB movie?
I can find out if y'all give me 2 seconds.
Go ahead and take them 2 seconds. Clark, he's gonna look it up for you. But it came on this past weekend.
Oh, it's something like Three Kings or something like that.
Is that it?
It's called We Three Kings.
Is it really?
We Three Kings, yes.
That doesn't sound familiar to me at all, but okay.
All right, so that's what we're going to talk about next week. I think this does it for us. We are wrapping up right now. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. Again, I'm about to let Daphne have it because the Grinch in my heart has not been satisfied because she had me watch this trash BET original movie the day before Christmas.
You liked it.
Would not recommend. And on that note, we will see y'all next week.